Hey, and welcome to Getting Down with the Pickleball with your host, Dr. Don, the killer pickler and sex therapist, and me, Tony, the sidekick who asks the questions, gets the news and all the updates, and all the pickleball antics you can handle. And now, it's Dr. Don.
Hi, you all. Welcome to Getting Down with the Pickleball with your host, Dr. Don Michael. And today we're going to have some fun with some interesting topics. I can't wait to get started. So, here's your first volley.
Volley!
Okay, today I was out on the court and there's something called karma, court karma. And I'm sure that those of you who are avid pickleball players have probably heard of it. It happens to me almost every day. So you go and you hit a shot to your opponent and it maybe hits the line or maybe doesn't, but they call it out and you're not really sure. So then on your next shot, if you win that shot, then you're like, yeah, that's the karma coming back because I really did win that shot. Or if you lose that shot, then you know that, I really did lose that shot. So it's not just me. Almost every single person that I play with understands this karma on the court. And it's super funny. It's kind of an understood thing. And the more that you play, the more that this seems to happen. I wanted to bring up court karma because in the real world, there's tons of things that have karma that come back at you. And I try to be honest, especially on the pickleball court. I want to make sure that if it's kind of close, that I'll give it to my opponent. That's just one way to keep the karma in a good place, I think. So let's move on to the karma in life.
Current events and hot topics of the day.
Well, lately, I've been seeing karma play out in the political field, also in the movie industry, with the arrest of some of these really creepy pedophiles. And I'm talking that the karma needs to come back at them big time. So who am I speaking about? Of course, Epstein and Weinstein and Maxwell and John of God. There's a couple more, but these are really bad characters. And what happened to the Epstein logs? Why have they not exposed those? Why aren't we seeing who went on his flights or who was at his really super, creepy island? Why is that being held or kept from the public? I would truly like to see some karma play out with these people. So if we could find out who was on Epstein's flight log as well as on his island, we'd be able to arrest those people too. Why is it that we don't have that information? I don't get it. The trial's been going on, or I guess it's over with Maxwell now, but the public, we didn't really learn who was behind all this and who was a part of it. I think that they have some serious karma coming back to them, and the public really should want to know. Don't you want to know what actors were on that plane or on that island? Don't you want to know what politicians were? There was a lot of blackmail involved. People were being paid off. I mean, this is such a huge story that they continue to cover up that we as Americans really need to know. And back to the karma, I guess the karma will find them some way. Well, allegedly, Epstein met his karma in the prison. And you know what? Karma is really a bitch. So that was my second volley. Now, here's my third.
It's time for Pickleball News.
Interesting article in the Pickleball News. I guess we could talk about karma again, maybe. But this young man, DJ Young, he was fined for throwing his paddle. I don't know if he got upset or what really took place, but I'm going to read a little bit of this to you. So this is the PBA Tour. It announced following the Vulcan Indoor National Championships that Darren Young had been fined for his errant paddle throw that bounced off the ground and ricocheted into seated fans courtside on Saturday, February 25th. I guess that he got upset, threw his paddle. Thank God it didn't really hurt anybody in the audience. So immediately afterwards, he went over and he checked on his fans who were near the paddle's trajectory and gave the following statement after the event. He said, "I want to apologize to all the people who were affected by this. There are a lot of emotions out there when you're playing professional pickleball. There's no excuse, but I'll be better. Again, sorry to everyone." But luckily, no fans were injured during the incident. You know what? I'm glad that he was fined because that behavior is unacceptable. And if you think about it, he really could have hurt someone. I guess that was his karma, the fine. Interestingly enough, I wanted to read one of the comments, which, I thought that they had a good point. One of the comments was saying when he slammed down his paddle on the playing surface, it bounced into the crowd and it almost hit an elderly woman in the face. If it would have hit her in the face, there would have been a massive lawsuit. Hitting anyone with a pickleball paddle should have a long-term suspension from playing in the PBA's tournaments. Come on, safety has always been a main factor while playing our fun sport, pickleball. And that, my friends, was the big pickle of the day.
Big pickle of the day.
We'll be back in just a moment with my sidekick, Tony, to rustle up some laughs and some interesting terms. See you soon.
Hi, and welcome back to Getting Down with the Pickleball with Dr. Don. I'm Tony. Yeah, you heard it. The sidekick. I've been reduced. I used to be co-host. Now I'm a kick of sideness. All right. Well, so be it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's see what kind of karma comes back on her when she says,
he's a sidekick, Tony.
Okay, so let's talk about this karma on the court because you seem to have a super big belief in it.
Yeah. It absolutely happens. Well, I think it happens. It's kind of hard to be absolute about it, but it sure does feel like it when I'm out on the court.
In sports, there's always that if you cheat, it'll come back some way. I don't know. I've watched Super Bowls where the refs miss a lot of stuff and someone cheater had a lot of money on the game and got their way. Now, I don't know what happened to him afterwards, but, Joe Theismann snapped a whole big ankle and never played again. But when guys are on the court or the ladies on the court when you play, do you ever see them do it and you point at them and go, karma's coming, or it's coming on you back any day now or any second?
Well, okay, so let me explain it. We wouldn't actually say it to the opponent, but you're looking at your teammate and they're looking at you and they're like, that ball, it landed on the line. It was not out. But the other team, the opponent, they're the ones who actually call the shots. So then you say to each other, okay, well, we'll know for sure when we hit the next shot. And if it's in, yeah, it was karma. Like it really was in on the other side. Or if it was out, maybe it was a real call.
But does it have to be the next shot? I mean, could it happen?
Yeah, it's kind of the next shot. It's just one of those weird things.
Oh, okay. No, like in other sports, it could be, that happened in the first quarter or the first period. Some hockey player got away with like it could have been a penalty. No one saw it. And then later on, another guy comes off the bench and takes him out and down, and they'll call that karma. That could happen hours later. So you're saying in your game or in your experience at that game, you seem to think it's the next play.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Okay.
I mean, that's why I'm saying it's kind of like a feel-good thing, but it does happen quite often. And a lot of times when you're like, okay, that definitely was in, we know it was in, and then the next shot, of course, we win the next shot. And that's happened over and over again. Okay,
but you keep referring to just this one incident. How about like when you get banged in the boob? Do you ever think like, oh, that dude's getting one there later? And then he gets popped in the balls.
That's nice. Yeah, that's great karma. But no, that's not what I'm talking about. It's
You're just
mostly
talking
those
pure play karma.
Yeah, like those points where it's just like, oh, it was in, but it hit the line and the opponent gets to say, because that's what the only thing they really get to say on is that point.
Just on the shots
on their side,
on the line, or if it was inbounds or out of bounds,
or even if it hit the kitchen with a serve, or it was in or outside the middle line, or in or outside.
Right, because if it hits the net, everyone can kind of hear that.
Yeah,
mostly. I don't know. You guys are at such an age. I mean, imagine if your mom was playing. She'd have no clue if there was. She probably can't even hear the wiffle ball hitting the paddle.
Well, she can't hear, so
that's what I'm saying.
That's mean.
Sorry, folks. It's just a fact. I wasn't making fun of it. I was just acknowledging that some people, maybe players at your establishment over there, may be just old enough not to hear anything anymore. They probably like it that way too. They probably just shut the up and let's just play some ball.
I'm pretty impressed with most of the people that I play with. They're really, regardless of what their age or their injury is, they have good attitudes. They're out there. They're having a good time. Most of them really do impress me.
Okay, so no karma there in the sense of physical. Guy hits the ball directly at your face and you miss it or don't react fast enough. And, that's a nice little red cheek you got going. And then...
Well, you might kind of hope that, they get theirs.
Does it feel better when you do it or when someone else does it to them? Like you're
I feel better if someone
Your
else
partner.
does it to them.
Okay.
Yeah, because then it's like not intentional, or I just,
You
didn't
just
have
willed
any.
it. You just evilly willed it.
Yeah, but
that
see,
your
I don't look
partner
at
would go,
karma that way. I don't know. It can't be like evil from my intent. It just has to be like, oh, the universe just gave them what was coming to them. Because if they hit me in the eye by accident, certainly it's not like I'm wishing any harm on them.
That's what I'm trying to
But
tell
if
you.
they're being an ass and they're doing it on purpose.
Right, like they called it on purpose that they thought the ball was in. No, you're like, no, it's out. I was told, no, it was on the line. No, that was out this time.
Okay.
And then purposely they went after you.
Well, truth be told, there's a couple of people in the club that will call it out when it's in, and you kind of know who those people are. They just do it consistently. Not a lot of them. Most of the people are really truthful about it, but there are some.
It's a nice, simple, easy game that you're playing, unless you got a lot of money on it. So people should be truthful about if they're in or out. Well, how does that equate to your clients in the sexy world?
Karma?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sure spouses have their own idea of karma for, relationships.
Well, talking about in and out, if it's,
Tony?
In
and out of what?
If it's in, I'm out. Right? If it's out, okay. Well, maybe.
What? Okay, let's just move beyond this question at this point.
Never mind. Okay, well, that kind of leads into part 2 of this, which was a good way in your monologue to segue. Karma with your Epstein Maxwell. Who's the John of God?
Oh, yeah. Oprah had him on her show. She went out to visit him. He had like a cult going on where he would impregnate women and
nice.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. And do all kinds of things. He was supposed to be some guru where you would go and he would cure you without any medicine or anything like that. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, so the Epstein thing or the Maxwell, I guess they got their karma, or maybe they outran it. Maybe they didn't even get any. One guy, was he hung? Was he killed?
Supposedly. I don't know. The jury's still out on that. Some people will say, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. But I don't know. I kind of think like the whole thing around it was a little bit bizarre. Who's to say that they didn't like whisk him off somewhere and fake the whole thing? But that wasn't really what the karma I was talking about.
No, I was getting to that because let's say the people that were involved with him felt karma was coming on them and decided to nip it in the bud and get that guy out of the picture.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So
he was involved in all kinds of blackmailing them. We're talking about actors, higher up politicians. I'm still waiting for his little black book to come out. Where are all the names of the people that were in the island and involved? Why aren't they prosecuted?
Well, that's the karma world, meaning those people seem to have the control or the power to kabushk the thing or person, like the girl, Giselle, got whisked up into. Now I know she's totally 100% involved.
Ghislaine?
Oh.
Maxwell.
Ghislaine? Hey, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine.
Ghislaine. Chizzy. She's a chiseler. That chiseler.
And her father, Robert Maxwell, what he's mysteriously was like pushed off a yacht or something.
I love these.
The whole family's so corrupt.
The guy that wants to go and tell everyone in Russia, Russia, the COVID thing no work. And then somehow he fell accidentally out of his 6th floor hospital room. Like, you can't even open a window in a hospital room.
Who's this?
Some Russian guy that had kind of debunked the COVID source or part of the Russian thing.
Interesting.
I got to look it up again, but it was hysterical.
I'm finding that all these conspiracy theories, they're not really theories. They keep being proven, and it's really scary to think that these people have so much control and so much money that Epstein was caught, Maxwell was caught, they went on trial, but yet all the people that were involved in all of this are still walking around free. Wow, things are really messed up.
Put it in reverse about the weird karma. The Chewbacca guy or the Q shaman dude going in. Yeah, on January 6th. And then all these tapes came out finally of the full version. And there are the police escorting him to every room. Come on here. Oh, this is locked. Let's go somewhere else. Never an argument, never a fight. And then he takes him into that main room where he gets up there. Now, okay, that's kind of weird that, unless someone was the authority to get up there. But he goes up there as a nice guy and has a prayer for them.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So the karma kind of reversed there because he's the guy that got the most years.
Yeah, why is he?
Or the most time anyway. and of all the people that were convicted.
But how do they even prosecute someone when they've been holding on to the evidence that is supposed to be used in court when you have something that shows the opposite? I forgot what that's called. I don't know, there's a term for it, a legal term for it. But the Brady
Bill?
Brady evidence. When you have something that shows that they're innocent and you don't show it in court, then it should be a mistrial. So this is what I think.
Oh, you mean the government?
Yeah, right.
That's just,
I know, right? Is that par for the
why
course?
can't we just use that word?
Gosh.
You don't need the Brady thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, see how all that kind of connects to everything.
It does.
Even down to a pickleball game.
Yep.
So
Karma.
it's out there. Ladies and gentlemen, it's larger than we all think. Well, anyway, we're going to take a quick break. I wanted to, I guess, just throw those things in there. That was kind of fun. I got some terms, definitely my favorite part of the show, terms of the pickleball world. I think there was one cute little item in the pickleball world news that I would totally do. I probably have the most fines in the history of time. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back with Dr. Don. I'm Tony. We've had interesting conversations in regards to karma. And I guess this could continue. This was a good little pickleball news item of DJ Young, the gentleman or the little crybaby that got upset like we all do, and threw his paddle. But this time, what was funny is it didn't say it off in the beginning of the story. But somewhere along the story, it comes to, oh, but by the way, the thing almost hit an elderly woman. Mm-hmm. But he's, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, it got the best of me. Yeah, we all know that. Will Smith got it. But that game gets you that angry. I mean, every sport does. I get it. But, even if you're making $1 million or plus at a sport, let's say baseball, you kind of keep it to yourself. You don't throw a bat at people. I saw, but my time I saw Juan Marshall, break a bat over John Roseborough's head, the catcher. So I get that anger can do it. But then Juan Marshall got busted and went to jail for something off the field. So there's your karma. DJ Young does this and they're about to impose a fine. They haven't done
No,
it.
they did impose a fine on him.
No, but they don't have that rule or law in that
Pickleball?
sport.
I believe they did impose a fine on him.
They did.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
But when I was reading some of the comments, it could have been much worse because, like I said, it almost hit this elderly lady, and that would have been a huge lawsuit.
Correct.
So,
but what I'm trying to say is the karma there is instant.
Yeah.
In the John Lennon instant karma.
Yeah.
You threw the thing, you got fined. Now we're not going to wait till later. If it hit an onlooker or a fan in the court.
Fined enough? I mean, couldn't that be disqualified when you do something like that?
Well, like in other sports, if you use a part of the equipment to injure another player, you're either some will trade you. You get obviously get removed from the game, but then there's a suspension of X amount of time. In hockey, I've seen guys come out of nowhere and blindside a dude, and it didn't look like it would have put him in a paralytical way, but throwing a paddle.
I'm wondering what the audience thinks. Like, I'm really curious. What do they think about this? Do they think like...
I don't know. I saw John McEnroe and Yvonne Lendl throw tennis rackets or break them. Like, what if you threw it in a crowd? A pickleball
paddle
is way more smaller, but you have more control of where you're throwing that thing. Where a tennis racket, large time, it looks like a boomerang, but with that wood hitting somebody
hurts.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, believe me.
I'm sure you've been hit more than.
Not only that,
you tell me you get banged a lot, but what about the paddle?
Ball? Well, the thing that's happened with me with my paddle is I've hurt myself. That's what happens with pickleball is you'll hit yourself with paddle for the most part.
What? That can't be. Wait.
You do.
So you're saying good players hit themselves with the paddles?
I mean, you can.
Maybe.
I've seen some people on the court throw their paddle down, which is really dumb because, they're really expensive and it's not like a tennis racket. I mean, the paddle is like it gets dinged up.
Won't it snap?
It snaps, yeah.
The wood will break.
So it's kind of stupid. That's when you know that you look at someone and go, wow, really? you're having a temper tantrum playing pickleball. I mean, this is supposed to be about having fun, getting exercise, letting out some energy.
Okay, but these guys, he was in a tournament, so there is some money on the line.
Yeah.
And he just got frustrated beyond. He sounded perfectly calm when he was giving his remorseful apology. Didn't seem that sincere. Maybe it was just the way you read it. But
well, I guess we'll have to see. So if he does it again, maybe then karma really will take over. I don't know.
Possibly. But anyone doing anything like that, like a football guy grabs your face mask in a fight and starts twisting it, that's your neck.
What about hockey players? Oh my God, they go at it.
When they're in fights, no big deal. No one cares. But when someone blindsides you and takes you out more illegally than a regular check, the team rushes the ice, and now it's a full-fledged bench brawl.
But then again, you're not throwing your puck or your hockey stick into the audience.
No, but that's because now it's turned a weapon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They become weapons. Now they're going to jail. Forget the fine, forget the suspension. Now the police step in. In baseball, I don't know if you ever see it, but let's say someone doesn't like someone on the other team. And being a catcher, when I knew when a pitcher didn't like someone, I'd, call a pitch and he'd just shake me off and want to have me set up inside on the guy because he was throwing at him. You try not to hit him in the head, but you try to get the back. That's the most pain, but that one goes away. Arms, elbows, wrists, those could break. You're out. You've taken that guy out of his season, basically. And then what happens is retaliation. All hell breaks loose, disgusting, and it becomes not even a sport anymore. It becomes, war. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. Thanks for letting me ramble on about an experience. Anyway, Dr. Dawn's going to be back. We're going to throw out some terms. Again, my favorite part of the show. I love to hear her reactions to these. So please stay tuned to Getting Down with the Pickleball. We'll be right back. Hey, and we're back with Dr. Dawn, and we're figuring out a few of these terms that are always makes me laugh. So I'm going to throw another couple at you, as I always do, and see if you may or may not know the definition of pickleball terms that you've actually given me. So I'm assuming you might have read through it once or twice. Maybe you knew, well, obviously you know what the kitchen is, right? A lot of people do. And we covered back swingers and
bangers
and
falafel.
Oh, yeah.
And hoopah.
Opa, hey.
Opa.
So, do you know what NVZ means?
Nope. NVZ?
This is a pickler, lady.
Oh, wait,
Remember?
Just the letters? NVC?
NVZ as in zebra.
Oh, no volley zone.
Oh, my God, ladies and gentlemen, she is correct. Johnny, tell her what she's won. No volley zone. What is the no volley zone?
Oh, no volley zone. Don't know.
A lot of people wouldn't. A lot of people would. But the definition for the NVZ no volley zone is the 7-foot section of the court on either side of the net. Pickleball players are not allowed to volley the ball in this zone. It includes all lines surrounding the zone.
The kitchen?
Also known as the kitchen.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
yeah, that's all
so
you had to say.
They already have something for the kitchen. They have this exact thing. Why do they need another one?
I have no clue.
Oh, so, hey, we're playing MVZ. Man, get up in the MVZ. Get out. Get out of the MVZ.
Yeah.
No one on the court's ever said that to you.
No, it's the kitchen.
It's the
Everyone
kitchen.
knows it as a kitchen.
This is what I'm saying, ladies
Maybe
and
the
gentlemen.
official term is NVC.
Oh, kitchen is a slang term for the NVZ.
That's what I think.
That's
yeah.
All right.
I mean, somebody who maybe made up the term was saying, hey, get out of the kitchen, or who knows what they were thinking.
Well, yeah, because you can't run around going non-volley zone, or MVZ,
Yeah.
MVZ. And the guys are like,
yeah, but how do you come up with kitchen from that? Matt?
No one nivs. There's no nivs in pickleball.
But really, kitchen? Like,
Yeah, well, it's funny.
I
All
don't
right.
know.
And here is my other. I always do 2 terms per episode here with the doctor. And probably my favorite out of all the terms you got here. Probably most men's favorite too. But head.
Of course. So predictable.
Well,
really?
come on. First of all, it's pickleball. You know you got to have some head in there somewhere. It's crazy that they would even... No, it's not crazy. These guys were totally perverted when they were making this game up and decided to...
And what does that say about you if that's your favorite term?
What do you mean? Oh, you mean like a headshot?
Ha
Where you get all your-
ha. Yeah.
If that were only true. But when I went, God, there was all these glass bottles and bongs and things. It really wasn't working out for me.
What are you talking about?
The head shop.
Oh, the head shop. I wasn't thinking about that.
I went because I thought it was a head shop.
No, you didn't. You were talking about getting head
At the head shop.
at the head shop.
Yeah, but when I get in there, some guy wants to sell me pipes, bongs, things.
You think it's where you go to get your.
Oh my God.
But it turns.
Wow. Ladies and
But it turns out to be a pot shop.
right. It's like no wonder. But
Why do they
I
call
think guys
that the head shop, though?
I don't know, like the Grateful Dead, they're deadheads.
It's kind of weird. Okay, so
But-
back to pickleball.
Yeah, so do you know what the definition for that is?
Head.
It's a true term.
Let me see if I can get. No.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the definition of head. The other definition. Part of the pickleball paddle above the handle that includes the paddle face. Now, no one understood that, so I will say it one more time.
The head of the paddle.
Part of the pickleball paddle above the handle
Mm-hmm.
that includes the paddle face. So I'm gathering.
This is kind of stupid term.
It is.
It's really lame.
It is. It's like, where the strings are in a tennis racket.
Paddle face and head. What are they going for there?
Paddle face. The head. Why can't they just say, not the handle?
Or the face of the paddle.
What is... Okay, well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. These are true terms. You can look them up. You can print them out. You can even try your local head shop and see if they're having that sale. All right. So we're going to take a short little break. And when we get back, we'll ask the doctor about her, I'll let her tell you about it. And welcome back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a really good time this episode. Very interesting. We've done a few here. And feeling pretty good about both of what we're getting into and talking about. But I think Dr. Don has the best spin on it. Why don't you tell him how you really love and think about this show?
Oh, I'm having so much fun with it. And I want to thank the audience. This is our 4th show in, and for the comments and emails. And some of you who follow me on Twitter, my handle is Dawn's Mission, and I will post the pickleball podcast there, as well as on my Getter account, which is Sex Counseling. And I also have posted some stuff on YouTube, which is the Politically Incorrect Sex Counselor. So thank you so much for those comments and being excited about it. This is really near and dear to me because over the past year or so, I kind of had a tragedy. I don't know if I talked about it or not, but if you're following me on any of those social media, the pickleball has really, I don't want to say saved my life, but it has taken me from a very sad and maybe dark place and added some light to my life, meeting new people and having a good time. And all of you that know me, I've always been a little bit of a political junkie. So combining that along with my sex therapy, I think that the show is just something unique and fun. And I hope you're all enjoying it as much as Tony and I are enjoying it.
I'm totally enjoying it. Till you get on the pickleball court, you have to keep throwing that in. Every episode, there's some, well, you just haven't done it. You just never go and play. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we've been having, a really good fun time. And I'm hoping you are as well. If you do, or you catch us on the Facebook forum, what's it called? The Pickleball?
Oh, I've also been posting on the Pickleball forum on Facebook.
Right.
So it's been fun because I will post some, interesting facts, or I'll post some questions. I've gotten a lot of comments and feedback that we've used to do some of the stuff in the show, get some information out there.
Yeah, that's a pretty big one. And I think, not saying anything good or bad here, but the elderly crowd got into Facebook like they didn't in the beginning, right? It was like, well, that's kid stuff. And then all of a sudden, everyone over 40 owned Facebook, and anyone under 40 denied it and wouldn't be a part of it anymore and moved on to the next whatever Facebook thing was coming up. So it's kind of good that a lot of these people have stuck onto it. And pickleball, I didn't know it was that big on Facebook until you showed me
Pickleball
that.
is it's taken off everywhere. They're building these big resorts around pickleball. They've transferred a lot of the tennis courts at resorts into pickleball courts. So
I think you even mentioned lot of actors and pro ball players are investing, buying teams, having their own team.
Oh, yeah. Like, I think Jamie Foxx, I've met him a couple of times, and he has his own merchandise now. And I don't know if he's investing in opening a place or not. Yes, it's really popular with a lot of people.
That's what we need. You and I need to do the in-ball. What am I saying?
In California?
Okay, hold on. Well, indoor pickleball court. Yeah, because you could do it at any time, anywhere. You know, it rains out here a lot. People don't think it gets cold. It does.
Oh, it's been super, super wet this winter.
We always have weird weather. Then we have great weather, and that's why you play all these sports out. That's why a lot of baseball players or other football, basketball guys, they like to come to the West Coast because you can play it 24/7 almost all year, right? So, but having an indoor pickleball court, I think, what if you could do a double-decker?
It really would be
make a
great.
killing.
I mean, the summertime, I remember playing, it gets hot. You got to get out there really early in the morning.
Do anyone do lobs, like, 55-foot lobs?
They do lobs.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like,
no, that's not going to like happen. They're not
no,
gonna
like,
do it.
when they play tennis, sometimes the ball's like a pop-up. And you're like,
I mean, it
okay.
is different playing indoor than it is outdoor. I mean, you use a different ball. There's just, it is different, but you're still able to play the game.
Cool. But can you charge more? And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to conclude this episode of Getting Down with the Pickleball. I'm Tony. This is Dr. Don. Thanks so much for listening, and we really appreciate it. I hope you had a good time. We will catch you next week or the week after. Enjoy.